Bryan is here.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, Bryan. I have been watching the recording of, I don't watch a lot of recorded meetings. I did watch a recording of us playing fish pong.
Did you?
Yeah. I've been loving it.
There's been some good moments in there. Were watching, there's a game where we rated some extraordinary things happen, which I think is happening. I mean, that's kind of every game at this point.
League is really stepping up its game. No, it's from last week when it was you, me, and Alan.
Was that only last week? No, that makes sense. That tracks. It's been, I had this this idea. As you know, I've got an 18-year-old at Washington State, and we're kind of pricing out travel for family weekend or whatever. We're like, we're gonna take 3 of us. We should drive. So we drove to Pullman, Washington, and back.
Wow!
In a weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about 2,000 miles, as it turns out, round trip. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But as a result, several months have passed since last week in my mind. I have lived several lives, and time has now has become completely distorted.
Yeah. You grew up as like road tripping people. Right, like because growing up in the Northeast,
I am of a road tripping people. Yes, I am of a road tripping people in the American West. I would say like this is
right.
Yeah, this is I don the garb of my people as
right.
I do remember my sister and I at some point. I think maybe I was 18 when we actually put an ultimatum. Like there were to be no more vacations within the state of Colorado. We felt we had seen every corner of the state of Colorado, that there was nothing left. And actually, in hindsight, we actually had not. There's actually plenty of Colorado we had not seen. It's a big and beautiful state. So, I know it is. It is. You're absolutely right. I was really just observing the traditions of my story.
That's good. I mean, I'm just saying because growing up in the Northeast, like if we got in the car for 2.5 hours, that was a really long trip for us.
Yes, right. Crossing over several Munson-Dixon lines, Munson-Nixon lines. Excuse me.
That's right. Exactly.
I mean, it's like driving across the Baltics. I mean, you're.
No, totally. My mom is from Rhode Island, grew up in Rhode Island. So in Rhode Island, if you're going all the way up to Providence, like that's an overnight trip. In the great state of Rhode Island.
In the great state of Rhode Island and Providence plantations. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Precisely.
So that was only last week. That's amazing. So you've been watching I will actually, I would like to just say this because someone in the chat is saying that Wazoo is a fantastic school. Cynthia's saying this in the chat, which it is. I would just like to say this. I'm going to give some free college counseling advice, Adam. You never know why you're here. You never know why you listen to this thing. And this could be this is the news you can use. Okay, so here's some free college counseling advice. My 18-year-old is extremely happy at Wazoo. Loves it. And one of the things I kind of realized belatedly is that this school kind of is a leader in happiest students. So there are like the Princeton Review compiles a list of like, here are the 25 schools in which kids are the happiest, students are the happiest. And it's not like a conventional list. Like it's very surprising the schools that are on it. Like it doesn't track a geography. It doesn't track, they're public, they're private, they're small, they're big. I mean, it's kind of all over the map. But I have talked to, we've got a couple of alums of those schools, are things like Kansas State. We've got an alum of Kansas State here at Oxide, and I was asking him about it. I'm like, Kansas State's on this list. He's like, you know what? I loved Kansas State. I thought it was great. And there are a bunch of those. Anyway, that's what I'd like to volunteer. That if you've got an 18-year-old, because as you know, you've done this recently, it is an extremely anxiety-producing process, and part of your objective as a parent is like, maybe I can help you find a spot where that is a viable landing spot where you're going to be happy. That's kind of what you want to help them find.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I have to say.
I will offer some college counseling advice, which is less useful, but which is one of the schools my son got into was UMass Amherst. Oh, yeah. And UMass Amherst is known, I don't know where they rank on the happiness scale, but they're known for having the best food of any college.
Okay.
And in fact, like so much so that like they do the standard interview with students, like, why'd you come to the school? And they're like, for this and that, but like, obviously also for the food, like so much so where I'm like, I am a little bit worried about how my son eats, and it's delightful that he would potentially benefit from this. But it got to a point where I'm like, can someone talk about something about the school other than the food, please? Like, I know that it's a great school, but just move on.
That's interesting. You and I are kind of taking opposite tacks. I'm feeling like we need to do a campus visit. Like, we don't need to do a campus visit. I've already eliminated it. Like, it doesn't have the academic programs that I've decided. No. Like, let's give it another shot, and let's
go sample the fare, as it were. Yes. Yeah, but he did not go to UMass Amherst. I don't really understand why, but anyway, he's very happy.
There you go. So that's the objective. Anyway, it was you never know why you tune into Oxide and Friends. You get to come for the books in the box, stay for the college counseling, or maybe the other way around.
There we go.
Or certainly the food.
I did find it delightful that both of us stumped for what was happening. We're like, you know what, we have not done in a minute.
You know, we were stumped, and I'm like, God, I really want to suggest books in the box, but Adam is just going to be like, oh, come on, that's so. But then you suggested it, which was great. It was exactly a year ago that we did our last books in the box. So I think we are within our rights to do books in the box. This is not merely us not having another plan for tonight. It is more than that.
It is also us having another plan for that. But it has been a minute, and I do appreciate these, and I've been struggling for books to read, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so let's kick it off. Okay, well, actually, first to rule monger a little bit. Yeah. So last year, you were, I think, rightfully, you were rightfully insistent that, like, hey, we've got to have read the book. You had maybe a bad experience with John Romero. Is that right?
Yes. No, I'm glad that the shadow of Doom Guy is cast long. But yeah, someone had recommended Doom Guy, and it was not out yet, and I got it and I read it. And I think if you had read the book, you would not recommend it. That's my assertion.
Right. So which I think is good. I think that's very reasonable. I think you've got to have. I think it's important that one has read the book, not merely aspiring to read the book. But I feel I found a bit of a loophole that but feel free if you. So here's the loophole, such as it is. Because I got a couple of books that are on my queue, but those books have been recommended to me by Oxide and Friends listeners and not on Books in the Box. So I feel, and I'm going to
legal. I say legal.
Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I feel like we've got like a solid recommendation that this is worth reading. This has not been unread by a listener.
That's right. Somebody has read it. Yes.
Has read it, and more. Well, on some of these books, you're not sure. Like, who has actually read it? Am I the first person to read this? Did your editor give up on this? Yeah.
Literally the case on the John Romero book, because it wasn't out yet when we were talking about it. Right. So it had been unread by. I mean, maybe someone had read it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I want to also start off with, did you read any books from previous lists? Did you, okay, so Tom is asking in the chat, what about currently reading? We've already decided that currently reading is eligible. So I think you can say, if you feel you've read enough we'll put it back on you. If you feel you've read enough to recommend it, then you can recommend it. So.
That's right.
That's legal. Did you read any books from previous episodes, from previous years?
Like, I'm sure that I have. I did not prepare that in my notes. I'm going to go back and find the answer. But I'm wondering, Brian, did you?
What an excellent question. I never thought anyone would ask. Did you? I find myself. I gave a response that an LLM would give to a question earlier today, and I was just like, it's not just but also. I literally cannot use that sentence construct anymore. And similarly, I feel that whenever I'm praising someone's insightful question, I feel like I'm an LLM. So it's causing me to question a lot of things. So I read the Mouse Driver Chronicles, which I think Ian recommended.
Oh. Actually, I started that. I bought that
goofy
book.
It was sold as a goofy book. This is not sold as like literature. This is sold as this is kind of a quirky, funky little book. But this is like Forrest Gump starting a company in San Francisco. In that it is. I mean, the guy is very earnest, but also they've got no idea what they're doing. But they also know they've got no idea what they're doing. And their idea is terrible, and they also know that their idea is terrible. The whole thing adds up to something that is like strangely endearing. Like it shouldn't work,
Yes.
but it kind of does. So
I don't think it's too much of a spoiler because as I recall, it's on the cover. But like their insight is make a mouse shaped like the head of a golf driver.
yes, that is their startup.
Yes, yeah,
And,
yeah.
And I mean, and to their credit, they learn why this is like actually why there might not be a lot of new company formation around novelty mice. Say,
Yeah,
why this
yeah,
is not a venture class business, as they say. So I read that, I enjoyed that. And then one I also read from, I read it from Books in the Box 3 in 2023. Little handy dandy mnemonic device there. Books in the Box 3 from 2023. California Burning, which I thought was, and I definitely enjoyed how much do you enjoy California Burning? I kind of felt like it had it took me too long to read it, I would say, because I was like, the subject is kind of grim, but it was a very interesting history of regulation in California. And I kind of think that Catherine Blunt, I think it's well written. She's the author. I think she herself got like, oh God, this is just kind of, this whole thing is so dispiriting. Let's just wrap this thing up and publish it. I just feel like there's a sense to which I think there's actually more books waiting to be written on this, but I thought it was good. So
yeah. One book I've been trying to get my hands on since Tom recommended it last year was Shift Happens, the Kickstarter.
Yes.
That is completely unobtainium. And I scout it on eBay and it's always like $650 starting bid.
Yeah, that looked enticing. But I also knew
Yes.
that I was, so yeah, that you've not been able to yet lay a hands on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that, let me know if you get it. So if you get it, is that like, is it a museum piece? I mean, how does that work? Do you,
exactly. Well, depends if I expense it, but we can discuss.
Okay. I mean, okay. Serious question. What is a $100 million Series B for, if not for like books on bespoke coffee table books on keyboards?
Okay. Excuse me while I go make some purchases.
Exactly.
Yes.
That sounds good. All right. So, what do you, I know we've got some books that you and I both read this year, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But first of all, folks, feel free to raise your hand.
Yes, please.
Hop up on stage and tell us a book that you've read or at least started. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, I was looking back through my list. Do you track your books, or you have a much better memory than I do, but do you write these things down?
False. No, I actually I have to go through my Amazon orders or whatever. Because I also think, no, the other problem is like, I can't remember exactly when, like, did I read this book last year? Or did I read this year? Have I already talked about it? Have I not talked about it? So no, I definitely had to go refresh my memory a little bit. And yeah.
So what I read that I don't think came out of Books in a Box, but I think came out of our discussion with Randy Shope, where he was talking about his dad's time at Xerox, was Fumbling the Future.
Yes.
Have you read this? I can't remember.
I have not, and it's one of those things I've been meaning to for a long time. I haven't. And yeah, what'd you think?
It was terrific, and I sort of got thrown off because like the publication date of it was 1999 and it didn't make any sense, but it was actually written in 1988 about Xerox PARC and the corporate structure of Xerox and like their key innovation and just all of both the innovation that happened at PARC and their structural inability to absorb that into their business, even though it felt like an organization that was as well suited to surpass or to overcome the innovator's dilemma as any has been. So I found it very, very interesting.
That is interesting. And so have you read Dealers of Lightning?
No. Okay. I know that this is like the other one, and I haven't caught, and that's more modern one, right?
Dealers of Lightning is slightly more modern, but I would love to read Fumbling the Future. So one of these things that's kind of been, I remember actually, I remember it. We used to have it at Walden Software back when I was working retail. This is like an experience that's like, I feel it's like kind of absent now for teenagers. I mean, they work restaurants and so on, but I was working retail in the Walden Software. I had defected from the Babbage's upstairs in the Cherry Creek Mall, and because I didn't like the fact that I felt they were going to stop selling the compilers at Babbage's, and I quit in protest. So
it was a walk away kind of decision for you.
So there was a one man, really boy, walkout of Babbage's over no longer selling Borland C++ for $495.
And I ask you, where are you now, Babbages?
Where are you now, Babbages? Exactly. Well, look where it got you. Like Babbages is not even like a meme stock. I mean, they would be looking at actually, no, I think GameStop, I think Babbages and GameStop may be the same like corporate DNA ultimately. No, I think
Really? Huh.
I think that might be right. It's a merger with Babbage's merged with Software Etc. and Funko to
There you go.
God, Software Etc. Those hated crosstown rivals. I can't believe that we merged. Talk about a Cloudera and Hortonworks situation. But so I remember Fumbling the Future from the books section of Walton Software. Needless to say, they got rid of the books, then they got rid of all the software, then everything died. So anyway.
Well, and maybe also needless to say, not on Audible, not on the Kindle, actually had,
is that right?
And I don't think even in print. So that's another eBay purchase.
That's not in print? That's kind of surprising. It feels like that's like close to being an evergreen. I guess not. I guess it didn't quite make it.
It's sort of typeset in this funny way. Like it feels like it's typeset, as opposed to like off of a laser printer or something, with some irony. But anyway, I'll give you my coffee.
Okay, hot take, because I also feel like fumbling the future is a term that I feel like I use because of that book, even though I've not read the book.
Yeah, I think that's right. It can't have been that was like a term before then, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think fumbling the future invented the term fumbling the future and then fumbled it. Fumbling the future, fumbled the future of fumbling the future. Am I wrong? I mean, I'm not sure.
Seems right.
Little buffalo action, but I think that
exactly.
Because I use that term because of that book and have not read it. So all right, this has got to be, and I think your copy is right now sitting on.
Oh, I already gave you my copy. No, I can't give you my copy anymore.
It's sitting on. I do love that the cover is, and I guess in 1988 or whatever, it felt like jaunty to have
the like wonky font.
No, it's like it's like the kerning. We're gonna rotate these letters a little bit to denote that the word future has been like not so fumbling though. It looks like it's been kind of like maybe hit hard, rear-ended maybe. I don't know. Anyway. All right. So I get that one. You enjoyed it. Well-written book. I mean, you felt?
Yeah. No, okay. It was good. It was like interesting to read. Well, I mean, how these business histories are. This is not literature, but it was very readable.
That sounds great. Okay,
really
definitely on the list. And maybe on that in that vein, should I go or do you want to go? How do we do
you go, and then we've got Oliver waiting patiently. Oliver, we'll get you after Bryan's recommendation.
So I was kind of hinting at this a year ago, but I had just watched so I was reading The Big Score by Michael S. Malone. That had gotten me into to a bunch of things, and I had read the oral history, or watched the oral history of Jerry Sanders from AMD, and was kind of getting into that history. And that took me to the oral history of Hector Ruiz, who was Sanders' anointed successor at AMD. And so I read Ruiz's book, Slingshot. That was really interesting. I feel like this chapter of AMD is absolutely fascinating. And you're getting Ruiz with his own retellings. There's a little bit, you got to put asterisks on it. Like you kind of need to get something it would be good to get a different perspective as well. But Ruiz's personal story is amazing. It grows up basically in poverty in Mexico and becomes the CEO of AMD and makes these, what are in hindsight, really gutsy decisions. One is to buy ATI and to merge with ATI, which he felt had to be done. And then the other was to spin the foundries out of AMD, which they first had to fight Intel over, which is insane to me. They had to legally fight Intel for their right to spin out Global Foundries. And ended up being, but they felt they had to do it and ended up, just being incredibly prescient because that's what allowed them to be on TSMC. And then that also took them the chiplets because they had Global Foundries on a 14 nanometer process. They wanted to use TSMC's 10, I think, at the time. So they had to use chiplets. I feel like there is a great definitive book of of both AMD and Intel waiting to be written. Why have definitive books of these companies not been written? I actually kind of don't understand it. These are real like American icons, and there's nothing definitive on them, I don't think.
I'm with you. So true. Have you read, I mentioned this a year ago, but Chip War.
Chip War, I read Chip War. I should put that in the category of recommendations from here. I read Chip War. I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Sounds like there's a but I would just say like not the authoritative history of Intel, but like certainly a lot of weaving through that story.
A lot of weaving through. I thought Chip War was good. I thought it was short. I mean, necessarily. Like, look, I mean, they'd be like, look, I'm trying to sell books over here. Not, I mean, sorry, I don't know if you, like, I don't know if you.
This is not Britannica, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've heard yourself, but you're a little long-winded. You may, maybe I'm not going to take your advice on the length of a book, but I would just, I want something that really goes to depth on the history of some of the on Intel, on AMD, and on Fairchild. We talked about this last year too. I would just, I would really, because I think that there's a lot of history there that is not really known or told. Intel in particular, like we've got to get however this thing ends, we've got to get the definitive book on Intel, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was thinking back to, what was that book on Sun I read? High Noon.
High Noon.
Where it was written, in like 1999. Where High Noon. You guessed it right. It was the absolute apex.
Right. Right. Exactly. But I think it makes it easier to write a book from the perspective of a fallen icon. But like I just feel like we collectively. I mean, it would be very valuable to have a really definitive history of Intel and one of AMD. These companies have been around for a really long time, and there's not a ton that's been written on them. No,
don't you think it'd be hard to write that book today, where you're like, yeah, but how does it end? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It is a little hard. Yeah, but this is where you end up with like the Randall Strauss, Steve Jobs, and the next big thing. Where you just kind of like got to end the book and like, well, maybe the company. I mean, I think that the ending for Next was very surprising. That happens after the end of the book. Oh, actually, while I'm thinking about it, that actually reminds me. My 18-year-old, when he's a high school senior English teacher. I don't think I've talked about this here, but
you have. Please continue.
I have. Yeah. Is this?
You made me guess. Everyone in chat was telling me how dumb I was. God, does it sound familiar now?
No, it's just amazing. I know. Have I mentioned where I was when MCA died? Or have we talked about Tomax and Zaymon? The other thing, do you know that it was a year ago? I know I was just going after the books in the box. Have we had an extended discourse on Tomax and Zaymon multiple times? Or have I just listened to books in the box from a year ago several times over? Because
I don't know, but several people are typing in chat.
Several people are typing in chat. They're like, if this is, God damn it, I knew it. I knew this was going. I knew I should have just keep hitting recreate on the bingo card creator until it has Tomax and Zaymon on there. So I did talk about that. Well, I thought that was a great assignment. And the assignment was he had to pick 3 books he had to pick a person who then picked 3 books and then he had to read one of them. And it was Soul of a New Machine, the Steve Jobs the Next Big Thing, and Skunkworks by Ben Rich. Yeah,
and everyone was going nuts on Soul of a New Machine as like the obvious pick, and I you may remember this now. I reached for Quantum Dot, a book you had lent me.
Quantum Dot. That's why you remember. That's right. Okay, that is coming back.
It was like the only book I could think of in the moment.
That was such a weird deep pull. That is the absolute weirdest. Oh yeah. That was a great,
you're welcome.
I think I was so like overwhelmed with delight that I clearly forgot about even mentioning to you. So I'm so sorry. Look, there you go. I'll stop generating. Okay. So the, where are we? So anyway, Slingshot by Hector Ruiz, highly recommended. Please let us get a definitive history of Intel, even if it hasn't ended yet. And AMD. The resurrection of AMD would be a great story. I mean, AMD left dead on the operating table like few modern companies and is resurrected. And I don't think there's any book about it.
Yeah.
And it's extraordinary. So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I'm in for it. Not a recommendation because I haven't read it, but I would be excited. Oliver, you have joined us.
Hey, Oliver.
Wow. Hey, how's it going?
It's going
well. Come for the books, stay for the banter.
That's right.
Doing very well, thank you. I have a few recommendations.
All right, let's hear it.
So I'm going to start off with a very casual coffee table book, no starch press, called Open Circuits. They
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
basically take this is really cool. They take really close pictures of different components, and it's not like it's not like a reference or anything, but it's just really neat. They're really good pictures.
A copy of which
So
is sitting in the Oxide office, I'd like to say.
I did not know.
Yeah.
You know, I also have a copy of it as well. Yeah, it's a terrific book.
It's a terrific
really
book.
fun.
It's a gorgeous book. It's a really gorgeous book.
Yeah.
By Tube Time, right? That's Eric
Yeah,
Schleifer's
yeah,
show.
like the Mastodon handle or whatever.
I was gonna say the YouTube personality, but well, yeah, we can go with
Well,
Mastodon.
there you go.
Yeah,
Both of them.
yeah,
Either way.
exactly.
No, that I have it in front of me. It says Eric Schleifer in Wendell Oskay.
Yes, Eric Schleifer is, I believe, Tube Time.
That makes sense. I knew it was 50% chance. Let's see, other books. Not a lot of technical books thinking back the past couple of years. Obviously known to many people, but this is the first year I tried to read Systems Performance. Brendan Gregg's book.
Brendan Gregg's book. Nice.
Yes, and I'm about a third of the way through, so I think that counts. And it's great. It's great. It's really great. Especially kind of breaking it down into frameworks and methods and really thought of those things procedurally. You get into like
The use
debugging
method.
as a living.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
And so that's been really cool. And then lastly, I'm just going to go for it because people have gone for a bunch of asked before.
Yeah.
Why not?
Full send.
I read a sort of like a progressive economics book, I want to say, which I enjoyed. I often find economics books pretty rough. This one was kind of depressing. Not Das Kapital. No, and I think it cuts. What I like it and what I'm recommending is I think it cut a pretty even take. Versus like some more dogmatic. Like I'm not recommending people read Mises or whatever. It's not like super philosophical. I enjoyed it, and that was a release this year.
This is why we're getting Poorer, a realist's guide to the economy and how we can fix it, by Paul Moran.
I think it's Welsh. I think he's Welsh.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm
only the Welsh know.
Okay. Only the Welsh know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you? Now I can both mention a book that I read and we can reference a previous episode with the technological revolutions in financial capital, the Carlota Perez book we had with Jerry Newman on here. That's another. If you're going on an economics bender, that's another good one to go check out. Accompanied, of course,
Check
by
that out. I did actually listen to it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And then lastly, my last one, book from several years ago, which I thought was worth revisiting in our current political cycle, was Termination Shock by Neil Stephenson.
Okay.
Which was written it was published like right after the conclusion sort of the 2020 election and January 6th and all that stuff. But it's a book ostensibly about geoengineering. But kind of the central plot hinges around like basically a U.S. government walking around with its head cut off, which kind of enables all the drama. So it's a suspension of disbelief, but I really enjoyed it. Pretty long, like most Neil Stephenson fiction. But
so Adam, have you read any Neil Stephenson? I know I feel like I say this every year, maybe. No.
I mean, Snow Crash, like 1,000 years ago, like every Gen Xer, I think.
Not every Gen Xer, sir.
You have not read Snow Crash?
I have not read Snow Crash. Is that I've not?
You should.
I have not read Snow Crash, but God, back in the day, I knew someone who was working for a very secretive startup, and she could tell me nothing about it. And I'm like, I actually don't, like, I'm not curious about it. She said, no, I really can't tell you anything. I'm like, I really don't want to know. And I ended up somehow in an employee like offsite there. I know this sounds very dream sequence, but I ended up in an employee offsite where everyone was like, we must not tell you anything that we're working on. I'm like, I don't care. I just don't know how else to tell you this. And then there was a copy of Snow Crash that was left out. And I'm like, what's this? And they're like, he knows too much. Like, what are we? Where are we? And do you know what? And
Second Life.
No, but you're right there. You're right there.
Huh.
And I don't think it's going to be like, I don't even know what to do if you're able to pull this, because this is a down market Second Life called there.com.
Roblox. Oh, there. Yes.
Do you remember there?
I maybe only from the context of this story. Yes, it rings a bell.
Who would name a company there? It feels like an Abbott and Costello skit every time you're trying to say where you work. Like, I work there. I mean, what's this?
Yes.
I feel like this is an even worse name for a company than B, which is really saying something. Because I think B, like Jean-Louis Gasset, great reverence for your life's many achievements. Terrible company name. But there feels like it's much worse. And actually, there.com still exists. Oh my! Wow. I can create an avatar and win $100 $. What? It feels like a $. What's the conversion rate? What's the going conversion rate between a $and something that I can use to put food in my belly or a roof on my head? I just feels, God, that is
sounds like they also invented crypto. So good for them.
There's got to. I mean, please don't tell me we're going to end up with a tell-all on there before we have a canonical history of Intel or AMD. But that said, I would read the canonical history on there in a heartbeat.
There you go.
So but anyway, Snow Crash was apparently, had I read Snow Crash, I would have. But I guess I'm going to infer that Snow Crash has some virtual reality elements to it. Is that a fair inference, Adam?
Yeah, there you go. That's basically the whole plot. You got it.
But it's all about the rule of cool with that book, and probably why it's more worth reading. They have an assassin with a knife that's made out of glass, and they have a kit like talking car that delivers pizza. So focus on the cool, I would say, is the only reason to slog through it.
When you say a kit talking car, you're talking kit with 2 T's, I assume.
Precisely.
Yeah, like a Knight Rider.
Like a Knight Rider. Okay, no, okay, but how are you making a Knight Rider reference? How's that working? Because I
must be one of us.
No. I know for a fact that was Knight Rider remade at some point? Surely. Is that it?
I don't think so. So I found, if you want to know, if you must know,
I must know.
There was the SpongeBob movie in like 2005.
Okay, oh my God. I should have called it. I feel like I could have called that. I could be like, what is it, a SpongeBob reference? Okay, that makes way more sense. I was right to dig here. I'm sorry. I was absolutely right to dig here. I knew something smelled off with a Knight Rider reference being dropped so casually by a Gen Zer. I was right to dig. I knew it.
You look at a man's discography. I didn't know what Baywatch was. Yeah,
exactly.
Celebrate his whole catalog, right?
Such as it is.
It's so bad, Knight Rider. It's so bad. I'm sure whenever we mention MCA's death, we probably follow it immediately with a Knight Rider chaser, but that thing is so goddamn bad. I actually tried to rewatch that with my kids and when they were much younger, and it was unwatchable.
I don't think Beastie Boys are uniquely Gen X, though. Like, I definitely listened to the Beastie Boys in high school, so I think they had more staying power.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. Knight Rider, I'm less convinced of, though. Okay, so this makes sense. You got it through SpongeBob, the cultural Prometheus bringing fire to later generations in the form of Knight Rider.
Precisely, yeah, 100%.
Where are we? Sorry, I woke up in a kit ditch here.
Oliver, other recommendations?
Nope, that is it for me. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for joining.
Those are great recommendations. Yeah, absolutely. Those are all very good. Yes, go ahead.
I got one that's like obvious, but I had not read The Big Short.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good.
It's so good. Why did no one tell me? Why has no one read this book? I know that I'm the last person on earth to read it, so it's kind of pointless for me to recommend it to folks, but it is tremendous. And having lived through the crash.
Yeah. And how are you feeling about Michael Lewis right now? Because I feel like I've read a lot of Michael Lewis and I felt kind of betrayed by a bunch of things. I don't know. I don't know where I'm netting out on it.
Yeah. I mean, I have Going Infinite on my shelf.
Okay.
and I have not been tempted to read it. I think it was. I mean, there are a few people who's like holiday send this person a book list. I assume you're on some of these lists.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so I think it was one of those that like kind of the person has forgotten that they've added me to this list years ago, and I still get their books. But yeah, so yeah, complicated with Michael Lewis for sure.
But
like,
The Big Short was so good. It was it was really good, and I think it's mostly true, right? Probably.
Yeah, I'm inclined. Yeah, no, I think there's certainly elements of truthiness to it.
The line that I love from The Big Short is where I mean, well, I'm sure you go ahead because you read it recently. I know it's going to be like whatever that guy's long. I want to be short. Yeah, I love that. I just love that he, in order to persuade these folks to take these big shorts, he sat them at a table with the longs who are long housing, and he realized that the longs were just such like morons. He's like, I want to be short anything that guy is long. I just love that. I mean, that's so good. So good.
Amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing. No, it was a very good book. It was a very good book, and I want to believe. So and maybe on Going Infinite, is SBF going to be? You know, why are we doing this? We don't need to do that. We don't need to play the what ifs here. They're too depressing.
Of course, he's going to be like Secretary of War or something. I don't know.
You know, let's do. You know what? Let's do it.
Next head of the Treasury. I agree. I'm calling it.
Next head of the Treasury. You know what? Let's do the experiment. I just feel like let's try at least. And you read The Big Short just this past year?
Yeah, I think in January I read it. Yeah, terrific.
Yeah. So can I do some books of that people have recommended to me who are listeners?
Great.
All right.
Yes.
So what's some of those? One has been on the actual podcast. Has been Malcolm Metallica, who was on Oxide Friends, where we talked about open tofu. I saw Malcolm in Amsterdam. I know he's not here live. He lives in Amsterdam, so it'd be a very inconvenient hour. And I ended up recommending to him somehow Dean Kamen came up and recommended Reinventing the Wheel, which I know we've talked about here. Have you read Reinventing the Wheel, Adam?
I think I still have not. I think
you really should. I think that is I think that you, first of all, I think it is like, look, if it is my people who wander around the Western America in the station wagon, because it's a very New England story in ways.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
now I'm listening.
Exactly. Now I've got your attention.
Right.
It's a very. I mean, the book is mesmerizingly good. I thought it was really very, very good.
Okay.
So Reinventing the Wheel, I would reassert that recommendation. So Malcolm, I recommended that, and he immediately devoured that. Really, so unfortunately, Malcolm, I'm sorry. The book that you recommended to me has only just now shown up, so I will get on it. But it's Eccentric Orbits: The Iridium Story by John Bloom, 2006. Okay. This book looks great, and it's about basically, because you remember the story with Iridium, and like the satellites are all going to burn up because of bankruptcy, basically.
Huh.
Do you remember this?
I know that Iridium were satellites, but that's all I could retain from that.
I retained just that plus Epsilon, basically. But the book looks great, and this is a recommendation from Malcolm, and I think this is prominent on the queue. This is very. As he pointed out, it's very, very quintillion. You've got, you've got corporate bungling.
Yeah, like aerospace disaster. Maybe.
Yeah, I know. Right? You got aerospace. You got the whole disaster angle. You got the corporate bungling angle. I mean, this is like it is kind of right up the fairway. So fine. So that looks really good. So have not read that, but that one I think should be on the list. Oh, hey, another actually.
What's the title of that book?
That is Eccentric Orbits. The Iridium Story.
Thank you.
By John Bloom. It looks really, really terrific. Does anybody have on their queue has anyone read a book on what's happening with LLMs or because we're in this whole new world, right? Are you?
Yes, true.
Okay.
No, I'm familiar. Yes.
It feels like I'd be interested. Like, are there some good tomes on this new world that we're in. And I've got one that's also suggested by I'm not sure if he's an Oxide and Friends listener, but I feel he should be. So Joe Emerson, do you know him? So Joe,
No.
Okay, so Joe is a founder of a company called Branch Insurance, and I have seen him a couple of times at Monktoberfest. So Joe's great, and Joe recommended this book so strongly to me, he thrust it in my hands at Monktoberfest. That's a book recommendation, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like that's an all-pro book recommendation. Like, read this. And he said it's dense, but it's extraordinary. Okay, so this is, and this is going to be. I really want to read this in the coming year, but this is it is dense. It is Language Machines by Leif Weatherby, Cultural AI and the End of Remainder Humanism.
Remainder humanism.
That's right. So if you're like, like that's yeah, this is going to be it's like so. This is by a professor of German. And I'm really intrigued to read this. It is not going to be an easy read, but I'm really intrigued to read this. So, again, so strongly recommended to me that it was thrust in my hands. This is a new book, 2025, and talking about, I mean, really, I think taking apart what it means to have something that mimics language, and what does this mean for the actual simulation of cognition, and is this actually intelligence or not? I mean, I think, not
Spoiler.
No. So anyway, I think that's, I'm looking forward to reading that, but I would also be curious if there are other things. I mean, I feel like we're in such a dynamic time. Like there's gotta be, what is the great book that's being written on how to navigate this new, but maybe it's all too new. I don't know.
Yeah. Tough to write one and not have it feel immediately dated.
Maybe that's it.
like that book on Web3 that like came out a year after the bubble burst.
Okay, the Chris Dixon book. Or do you just want to hear me say it so you can, are you just trying to trick me into putting the ball in the tee so you can just like take a second? Like,
a little bit, yeah.
Is this a special like books in the bonfire? Is this an addendum to books in the box? It's like, okay, all right, well, that concludes our books in the box. Now it is time for the back half of the program.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of those actually.
Right, I know. Well, this is why we're here. I don't know if we can burn any Audible books though. I think we got to actually. I mean, they really need the. Yeah,
it's like I'm going to put it on my Kindle, burn the Kindle, buy a new Kindle.
That's right. But this is read, write, own, building the next era of the internet. And
so bad. What you need to read, actually, my recommendation of that is Molly White's review of it, which is just so spectacular.
Did Molly White? Did she actually read it?
She read it, cover to cover, and reviewed it thoroughly, and it saved the whole world a lot of time.
Okay, so I love this. I actually, this is great. This is the way you get to the books on the bonfire. You recommend the review that actually, I'm not torching the book. But I'm recommending the review that torches the book.
Yeah,
we gotta get Molly White.
There was some other.
Why is Molly White not on?
That would be great. Oh yeah, seriously, let's do that. Sorry, Morris, but
Morris, move over. I mean, just stop being so thirsty. We'll get to you some point.
Yeah.
This looks okay. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, this looks good. This looks good. Okay, so that is what we are. Are there other book reviews that you'd like to recommend?
No, but I gotta remember there was some other garbage looking book that I was like gonna ask Molly White to review first to save us all a lot of time, but I'll have to look up what that one was.
No, it's gonna be like, I'm not your garbage disposal. Like, you read it yourself. I mean, why?
No, she monetizes it. It's like it's content creation, right? That's great.
This
content.
I gotta say, this review looks really comprehensive.
It is not a cursory. I mean, it's really compelling.
This is a compelling review. This is a compelling. No, this is an excellent recommendation you've made here.
Good.
All right, we've got. Tom's here. Let's get Tom on stage.
Yeah. We've talked about that I've read, you've read. We've talked about before, but Careless People. I can't recommend this strongly enough.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. I feel like we can't let Careless People just be the book that is so obviously the book to read that we forget to mention it.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I already
read it as well.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned The Big Short, which everyone's read. So why not Careless People? No, not. Yeah, not only I didn't even take it out of the library. I liked it so much. I bought a physical copy, and it's so good.
It's
So this
so
is
good.
Sarah Wynne Williams inside Facebook talking about
Oh my God.
all the bullshit and shenanigans, in particular from her perspective, sitting, looking at like geopolitics and Facebook's intersection with that. And she just eviscerates them, and it's so great and terrifying.
It is a must read. It is extraordinary, that book. It is so good. She somehow managed to persuade them to get a restraining order against her, preventing her from promoting the book, thereby promoting the book for free. I mean, it's just genius. Next level genius. And the book is so much weirder than the pull quotes, I feel. Don't you feel that way? That like, as weird
absolutely yes, like it is so profoundly weird, from like the vignettes on private jets where Zuckerberg is accusing her of cheating at Settlers of Catan.
Oh my God.
Like I don't even feel like that is the weirdest vignette.
No, that's not even close. That is not even, yes.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it is an unbelievable book, and it is too weird to be false, is the problem that Facebook has. I mean, there's just not a, you just make this shit up. It's too weird.
Yes, it's too weird.
And I thought it was just absolutely extraordinary. And I mean, it paints like, it does not, I mean, it really portrays folks in a very important light, and it is not positive. It is definitely not positive. With this book, Careless People is notable because Bridget actually absconded with my copy while I was reading with it. No, this is like, I was exclaiming more when reading Careless People. I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is Bad Blood for verbal exclamation while reading.
Yeah.
And at some point, she was like, put a sock in it. I mean, understandably. And then she's like, well, maybe I can't remember if I recommended that she pick it up or if she picked it up, but she picked it up and then I couldn't get it back until she, okay, bad news, I couldn't get it back until she finished it. Good news, she did literally nothing else until she finished the book. So it was really, I mean, it wasn't that long actually. I mean, she just like ripped through that thing. And it's amazing. Remarkable book.
So I did figure out what my recommendation to Molly White is for the next book. And I don't know if you've driven through San Francisco recently and seen a book advertised on a billboard.
What? No. What? What book?
It's the...
I mean, okay, this is obviously AI related.
No. Yudkowsky book.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, I may have to. That one.
The title of this book.
I may have to smell that smell for myself. The Eliezer Yudkowsky.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna need. If Bridget listens to this, she's gonna be like, God, get an Airbnb when you're reading that one. I just don't want to deal with it.
I also took out Read, Write, Own from the library. I didn't finish it. I did put it down. I was exclaiming quite a bit. My wife was saying, put that book down. Like, if you hate it so much, stop reading it. I have this in my queue, allegedly available soon.
It's
of
not
the
yet
94
out,
people.
Right? What is?
I think it may be because I'm the 94th person in line at the San Francisco Public Library. But
this is if anyone builds it, everyone dies.
That's right. And to be clear, I cannot stress this enough. This is not a recommendation.
This is not, we need to have like maybe a different tone that we play when it's like an maybe there's a klaxon that goes off or something that but this one, I may need to smell myself. I feel like this is the fridge that we had in building 18. Have we described this fridge before? I mean, I feel like I've repeated so many anecdotes now.
I don't think so.
But have we talked about this fridge in Building 18? Because I feel like I thought you
had a fridge incident in your garage, but I don't know about the Building 18 one.
Really? Oh my God, this would be amazing if I somehow have managed to. Okay, so we would go to Osteria every Monday night, and then,
this is a restaurant in Palo Alto where Colonel Group folks would hang out.
This is Oxide and Friends before podcasts existed. So this
That's
is
right.
this is a primordial Oxide and Friends when it was really just also known as dinner with people you know. That's where I had my great food amnesia, with the carpaccio. Were you there that night?
No.
Because they had Osteria, Palo Alto, and I'm sure this is still true because that restaurant is just like so like keel in the water. I mean, that is the most stable institution.
I mean, the menu is like might as well be written in stone. Like
Absolutely. Their carpaccio is extraordinary. And we would order the carpaccio every week. And they bring out the carpaccio. And they had brought out everyone's carpaccio except for mine. And I'm like, where's my carpaccio? And one of our colleagues, Steven, was like, that's okay. Are you being funny? I'm like, it's not funny to me. Like, where's my carpaccio? He's like, okay, you're actually scaring me a little bit. Like, I'm like, no, is it not reasonable that I get the carpaccio? And he's like, okay, your carpaccio showed up and you ate it so quickly, they've already cleared your plate. And I'm like, well, I don't recall that. I mean, can you prove that? I mean, okay. But so you got to be careful when you're indignant. Let's just say that it took it took me down a couple of pegs, and whenever the food hasn't arrived yet, there's a voice in my head that said, no, the food has already arrived and you already ate it. So just calm down. Like, just lose some of the indignation, pal, because you have food amnesia. You've got look.
Because this is not an intervention, I will just say this is not the only time that this has occurred.
Because this is not an intervention. My favorite thing to hear in a meeting. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that, and it's like, no, now I'm much more receptive to feedback. No, listen, when it's an intervention, just
Bryan,
be sure
because we care about you.
Exactly. Just be sure you say because this is not an intervention before you intervene. That's the way to the guard will come right down. No, so all right. So we would go to dinner, and then we would go back, and we would shoot pool in Building 18 because Building 18 had the Distributed Objects Everywhere group, the DOE group, that was like
this is at Sun.
This is at Sun.
For context.
And the kernel group got nothing. Java got like their own cafes, Java, everything else. And the DOE group had anything they could spend money on, they got. And so they had this luxurious pool table. So we felt like we would kind of even the score a little bit. Like, well, our badge works over here. We'll just go over here and shoot pool on your pool table. And in that room, that project was later killed, by the way. So, they got theirs. In that room, there was a refrigerator. And the refrigerator had a sign on it. And the sign said, "Do not open. I'm serious. You've been warned." And I mean, like, obviously and I remember like we managed to shoot pool in there a couple of nights and not open it, but like, we can't do this forever. We obviously got to crack this thing open. Like, what's in there? I mean, it was there for a bunch of weeks. And like, we are just going to like open it a little bit. And I just inched that thing open. And I don't know if it was under pressure or what, but death was in the room with us. I have never been, it was the most animal foul smell. And I immediately remember slamming it shut, being like, meanwhile, whoever made the sign is like, what the hell else do I need to do? And I kind of feel like, do you see why I'm bringing this up with the Eliezer book, the Eliezer Yudkowsky book? I feel like this is, if anyone builds it, everyone dies, should also be known as, "Do not open. I'm serious. You've been warned."
Does Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's tomb have the same cultural currency for you?
You are hoping that that they made a SpongeBob about this, pal. Obviously I'm with you, but you are just hoping they made or South Park picked it up. I mean, like, that's the only way this thing leaps, because that is dead on the operating table with Gen X. I gotta tell you, I'm
Geraldo Rivera. You mean the Secretary of the Interior? No.
Oh my God, I got it. That's like, is that true? That's not true, right? I don't know. That's the point. The point is, you don't know. It could be true. It could be true, and that's the point. That's the point. He's an undersecretary. He's not the secretary, folks. It's fine. Okay, where are we? Eliezer Yudkowsky. We want Molly White. We want to somehow trick Molly White into reviewing if everyone builds it. If anyone builds it, everyone dies.
And then coming on the podcast. Yes, agreed. Let's. We have lots of work to do. Everybody, get to it.
Yeah, let's actually get to it. Maybe we should get Tom on stage. Maybe we should get
All right. Yes. And that's what everyone's saying.
Hi, Tom. I'm so sorry. We were such morons.
No, it's fine. That's fine. You guys are hilarious today.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we've just received some feedback about our other episodes. Clearly, yes. Go on, Tom.
Exactly.
So you have all these books about kind of recent history, which is all too depressing for me. But I have a recommendation of very ancient software history,
Oh,
which is
yes.
from airline reservations to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes. This is, yeah. Have you read this, Adam?
No.
Outstanding book.
Have you read that?
I have,
Right.
and it's very, very good. I read it. So Martin Campbell Kelly also wrote a really good history of computing, and I think it's might be just called Computing. But yeah, or the Computer, a history of the information machine. Yeah. So Tom, did you read this recently? I should go reread that. Actually, I think I read that when it first came out.
But it's learned all kinds of stuff about the really early 50s and 60s.
And it is like a wild time in the development of Sabre, and yeah, I mean, I should go back and reread that, Tom.
And to tell you how old I am, let me as anecdote. The first software product was considered to be this AutoFlow program from Applied Data Research.
Okay.
Which would draw flowcharts given the source code. Which flowcharts were very important back then.
Yes,
but,
back in the day, yeah.
I actually worked part-time for Applied Data Research when I was at Princeton.
When you were at Princeton, I was going to ask, okay, so this is back in the day. So this is in the,
So the AutoFlow was like 1965, and I was working there like 1977.
Oh, wow. That is really cool. And they're in the book. They're in Martin Campbell Kelly's book, I assume.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And we, I need to reread this because it's been too long. Adam, did you do you remember the Systems We Love talk that we had on the airline system?
Yes. In the airline reservation system, I think the thing I retained from that was, that like sequence of like six letters or numbers or whatever.
Yes.
That was like the sector ID, like on the hard drive or something. Am I remembering that right?
No, you're exactly remembering that.
I have a manual that shows it's the controller, and that code was actually interpreted by the controller, not by the computer.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
basically
God.
A seek address on the hard drive.
Right. It's an actual like block. It's like an LBA. And we still give out LBAs today. And so like
when you block addresses back then, they had all this weird key stuff.
It's like if your QR code was just a pointer.
But the thing is that's amazing is like the LBA has, I mean, your record locator has survived everything else around it. Like you still will sit there and type that thing in now. It's something that has no physical relevance whatsoever any longer. So the other thing I'm a little surprised that you don't remember. So I remember that. The other thing, do you remember in this presentation that we saw, Tom, this is Systems We Love, going into all of the complexities of the flight reservation system and talking about the special code you need to use if you have a meat trophy? Do you remember this? I don't even know. I didn't even know what a meat trophy was. But if you have a meat trophy, so if you look, this obviously comes up. Like we were just like, yeah, I got this moose that I need to bring back with me. I got a moose cadaver. Like there's like a booking code for a meat trophy, and you can book you have to book a seat for it basically. And I always felt like meat trophy. I just feel like meat trophy is something that we're not using enough in common parlance. I feel like that
I think that's right.
I feel meat trophy.
We should bring it back.
I feel it could be doing more. I think it's time to be right. So
I was trying to get from Israel to Finland once, and looking at flights. And there were some flight classes that allowed you to bring your livestock on.
Exactly. That's. I mean, that is so. Oh, and those things still exist. Like you can still bring, livestock. That's Tom. That is great. Do you have and again that one I feel is a must reread for me because I feel like that came out in like 2000 maybe even. When did that come out? Well, Sonic the Hedgehog. I guess it does kind of say it on the tin there.
The other recommendation I have is, and this is in the pile of books I was getting rid of. I came across this again, and it's got nothing to do with anything except it's a hilarious read. And it's The War of Don Emanuele's Nether Parts.
The war? Okay.
And it's just hilarious. It's fiction. It's magical realism. It's set in fictional South American country. But if you're into something really escapist, then I highly recommend this.
All right. Then
Yeah, sounds good. Sign me up.
I also feel like Nether Parts, another term, along with Meat Trophy, is that I just feel could be doing more in our current parlance. It just is not.
Meat Trophy.
Meat Trophy.
Yes.
Nether Parts. Maybe we're gonna leave that one.
Maybe it's doing enough. Yeah.
It's doing enough. Maybe it's done too much, actually.
Arguably.
That's it.
And the other one I dropped in the chat already is the NVIDIA Way.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I was a little dubious given the title. It sounds like it's all rah stuff, but it was actually recommended on one of David Rosenthal's blogs, and he was like employee number 5 there.
And interesting. Yeah, that's all. And you thought it was good. It feels like that's kind of a must read at this point. I mean, it's just that the history of that company is so extraordinary. Yeah, that looks like a good one. Yeah, it does kind of sound like the NVIDIA Way. I kind of have like Sean Connery in The Untouchables vibe, right? Am I? Can I?
That's right.
You know.
Yeah. Put one of ours in the hospital. Put 2 of theirs in the morgue.
Yeah,
Agreed.
2 of theirs on the package. That's the NVIDIA Way.
That's right.
Well, you got to admit that Jensen is a pretty extraordinary guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I mean, I think we've recommended this before, but the acquired 18-part series on NVIDIA is really worth listening to. I mean, it is just really. I think what's amazing to me is the time. And Tom, I'd be interested to know I'm sure they, or maybe they didn't elaborate on it, but the number of times that company kind of like pushed all of its chips in at a time when it had like really something to lose, you know, and they, that's the thing that is, I think, remarkable.
Yeah, the book makes it look like Jensen just decides we're going all in. Let's go.
Wow. Well, they made a bunch of really good bets. I mean, what else can you say? Sorry, but you thought it was readable. It's on. That looks good.
And Bryan, have you speaking of NVIDIA, there's this interview that Jensen does of Morris Chang, and this was like 17 years ago or something like that. Have you watched this at Computer History Museum, one of their oral histories? But this I'd really recommend. I mean, I know we love both of these guys in the show, but interesting in particular because like, their rise to even greater prominence followed this, but it was a great conversation.
Amazing. No, and I have actually not watched that. I need to go. I'll put that on my must-watch list for sure.
It was a good one.
Did you drop a link?
Actually, the other oral history that just came out is of Ken Thompson. He's got 4.5 hours worth of stuff now.
Oh, that's gotta be good. Yeah, that's got to be good. That has got to be good. I would like to say that one thing we've done in the last year is we've actually made some progress on the Computer History Museum, and they've dropped that restraining order, which is very courteous. And I think we may be able to do something with these oral histories. So we'll see. And I think right now their lawyers are like, this is as you recall, the letter we sent you explicitly forbids you from mentioning us in such a way on your podcast. But no, it looks. That looks like a good one. And the Ken Thompson ones would be great. Oh my God, that guy's so extraordinary.
Speaking of our buddy Morris Chang,
yes, sir.
I have not a book recommendation because I have not read enough of it to make sense. But Morris Chang, as you may know, has written not one but 2 autobiographies, neither of which is short, neither of which is in English.
Right, both had to be translated, right? Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, had to be translated, meaning like there is not an English translation for sale. So what I have done is bought these on a Taiwanese ebook shop, and I'm plugging them through LLMs to translate it. How is it, you might ask?
Yeah,
it
how
is
is it?
very difficult to read a book this way.
Okay.
That's what I would report so far. It is interesting and very hard to read a book this way.
I can't determine if we are in the books in the box or the books in the fire. Where are we? Are we in the books in the bonfire? It feels like we're kind of in the middle. It feels like we are.
Too soon to say. I'm sure it's
say.
going to be delightful, and it's hard to get through a book like this. So don't recommend this method of reading a book. Maybe it would have been faster to learn Chinese. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay. Yeah, that was. We've got a couple others that came in over the interwebs that I feel we should also feature. So Dan McDonald, who's a frequent listener, it had two on Blue Sky he pointed us to. One is Inventing the Renaissance, a history of histories of the not so golden age of the Renaissance. So this looks really mesmerizing. And then the other one is this one is right up your alley. A biography on Charles Sumner. I feel like I'm at Fenway. The abolition. Charles Sumner is Massachusetts senator, right?
Yeah, right. Sumner Tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like this. Like I just feel like I was getting like a moment of like, oh, Dan's here. Oh, sorry, Dan. Do you want to? Sorry, I thought you should come up here and let us know about the biography of Charles Sumner. There was a moment where I thought I got that grievously wrong, but looks like two good books. Are you up on your Charles Sumner history? I guess, or
I am not. Or thank you for asking. No,
is he?
As we discussed earlier, when talking about road trips, like that's an entirely different state. It might be, kilometers away or whatever, but like it is, we regard that as foreign territory.
Okay.
Us nutmeggers.
Thank you. I was just going to ask, I realized not only do I not know, I don't know what's someone from Massachusetts called.
They're called massholes.
I know.
You don't have to look it up. That's just a fact.
I'm like, why am I inviting the joke? But other than massholes, what are they called? Are they what are they actually called? And it's a nutmegger from Connecticut. Is it really a nutmegger?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a tough pull. If you,
I've not heard anything other than massholes. I've only lived here for 20 something years.
All right. Well, Massachusettsans or Bay Staters? We're going with massholes, folks. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm so sorry. So Dan,
it doesn't bug me.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Looks like two good books, though. Do you want to talk about them at all?
Yes. Okay. So I discovered Ada Palmer through her science fiction. She wrote this wonderful 4-book cycle called Terra Ignota, which talks about a far future with a vastly changed human society. It's social science fiction. Her world building is amazing. And when you read this is the first nonfiction book of hers I read, was Inventing the Renaissance. And I understand why she was so good at world building in science fiction, because she's so good at world discovering and world rediscovering. Both of these books are about rediscovering history. She's really good about rediscovering the things about the Renaissance that maybe you weren't taught in high school world history.
That looks really interesting. Yeah. That looks really interesting.
It's a pleasant read. It's a big read, but it's a pleasant read. It's not difficult. There's just a lot of it. And the same goes for the Sumner book. And both have amazingly dense endnote sections in them too. If you want more, if you're really like, I got a drill, there's plenty of places for you to set up a rig and drill.
And how did you get to the Sumner book?
I follow political thing. I follow a few history professors and I follow a few political scientists on Blue Sky to keep my arts and letters half of my brain up and running.
Yeah, there you go.
Or LS&A. Sorry, I'm a Michigan grad. LS&A. Let me say that to keep the LS&A part of my brain up and running. And the Sumner book was recommended by multiple sources, and this is like a Yale law grad who wrote it. Like, I don't know if it's part of his thesis, but he's a legal historian first and foremost.
And you read the book. You enjoyed it. It sounds like.
I am not through Sumner entirely. I've been reading.
That's okay. No, it's
slow of late for multiple reasons.
Don't let Adam look at you
side-eyed.
side-eyed. It's fine. That's
okay.
And,
I'm in the middle of Andrew Johnson's presidency right now, so I'm about 3/4 of the book.
Ooh, nice. I think he's got to have some words, I imagine. And that book is just called.
Yeah.
That book is called just Charles Sumner, right?
Charles Sumner.
I mean, this is the advantage of going back and revisiting some folks that probably merit a revisit and haven't been revisited in a while. That looks great. All right, well, that's 2 great recommendations. That's good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you for the floor.
You bet, absolutely. And then we there was another series that came in from Andrew Lilly Brinker, who I guess is either a Blue Jays fan or a Dodgers fan. Very upset that we have scheduled this during the World Series, which I feel it's fair to be upset. I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel that I feel that like baseball ends for most people before this. So, if you're not, but the recommendations were let's see, pull all of these up. Measurement by Paul Lockhart. A math teacher famous for his essay, A Mathematician's Lament, published in 2002, which decried the state of math education in the U.S. And so the measurement is Lockhart's attempt on how to teach math in a way that prioritizes fun and intuition building. So that looks good. I'll post a link to this entire thread from Andrew. To Mock a Mockingbird by Raymond Smolyan. Smolyan, famous for writing entertaining and accessible math books, outdoes himself here with a sly introduction to combinatorial logic through an extended parable about a forest full of birds. All right, didn't think that's where that was going, but all right. And then Surreal Numbers by Don Knuth. And in 1972, Knuth learned about surreal numbers over lunch with John Conway. In 1973, is that Conway's Law? John Conway? In 1973, during a vacation in Oslo, Knuth wrote a short book explaining them. Have you read that? Surreal Numbers? Yeah, no.
No, I've never even heard of that. That sounds great.
Sounds great. And he says that all these are connected at a goal of making math fun and accessible and building intuition rather than treating math as memorization, recitation, and application effects. So those are all, looks like 3 great books. And thank you, Andrew, for the recommendation. And I would say that I hope your team did well, but the fact is all baseball fans hope that both teams lose. So, I don't know what else to tell you. And I hope your team moves to another city and your heart gets ripped out. No, wait a minute. I didn't mean to say that. That's the Discord link you I'm posting. Hi.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Excuse me. Well, I know this is when, I know we've talked about this, but my kids love to just call me a boomer just to really get under my skin, and it works extremely well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to post this link later when I'm in a better. I cannot get this link for whatever reason to post. But that's another recommendation. I've got one other book. Are we at the end?
Before you, I have one more before you get there, which is book fiction that I read, and I recommend this to you when I was like 4 or 5 chapters in. So the book is called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriel Zevin, and if I had given this recommendation 4 or 5 chapters in, I would say unequivocally it was the most beautiful, wonderful thing I had ever read. And I was reading. You ever get to these books where you just read it slowly, like you're rationing it out because you know that there's a finite number of pages and you don't want it to be over.
That
was me for like that was the first 4 or 5 chapters were that for me. And then the sort of plot got going, and it was good. And it did not. It was tough to maintain that pace. It was a delightful book of fiction about childhood friends who later go to college and build a video game and then a video game company. And it is right on the nose. Like these kids are born in 1975 or something. So right on the nose, Xer. So Oregon Trail generation, a lot of just computer stuff that was like square in my childhood. I would just say it did not keep up the pace of the first few chapters. It was still terrific. But
is this like Microsurfs meets Ready Player One?
is microserfs meets Ready Player One. Yeah, I think that's right.
It's like what you just said is
complicated.
nonsense, sir.
No.
This looks, it looks great, and I don't know what to do with my expectations. My expectations are both high.
I know.
and
I'm giving
muted.
I guess it's like, just read the first few chapters and don't expect the whole book to be as good as those are. But it was on balance a very good book. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, that looks good. And then the that looks very good with a Shakespearean reference to boot, I guess. Or does that?
Yes.
Okay, does that presumably plays a role?
Yeah. Factors in. Yeah, there's some Shakespeare thrown in for good measure. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I think I'll read it. I think is what am I waiting for Molly White to review that one, or am I just no? I'm going for it. Full send on that one.
This is like when I think I'm going to hate a book, I take it out from the library. This one I took out from the librray and then bought it. I was so fired up for it.
Okay, so you actually you went to go hate read it and then had to like shift gears and actually buy it.
No. Most of the time I'm just a cheapskate, and I get books that I'm interested in from the library, and I don't want to acquire more stuff because I don't know where to put it. But this was stuff I wanted to own.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. I'm gonna read that one. Okay. So if we are at the end,
yep.
And I think actually, let me just make sure. Actually, let me get two more in there because they're both on my queue, and they've both been recommended by listeners of the pod. Kind of. One is, and we talked about this on our episode with Jerry Newman, but one is As Time Goes By, From the Industrial Revolution to the Information Revolution, by Chris Freeman and Francisco Laucia. That's Portuguese. I do not understand how to pronounce that. This is what he recommended is a denser and more thorough treatment of the ideas in Carlota Perez's book. So I'm excited to read that. And then The Box by Mark Levinson, which our colleague CJ read and enjoyed that one. So I can't tell if CJ was recommending it to me when he handed it to me or not, though. So I don't know. I'll let you know. But I'm
going to burn this. So I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Could you please just?
Do you need Kindling? Because I have this book.
Exactly, this book. No, this is about the invention of the shipping container and of the twist locks and the things that you needed to like invent modern shipping. So that looks really pretty interesting. All right, so that I think that's our books in the box 5, and then the final book, which I am currently reading. Have you started this? Have you?
I'm currently reading. I have not finished it, but you can quiz me on the first few chapters for sure.
All right, so we alluded to it in a previous episode, but this is Founder versus Investor by Liz Zalman and Jerry Newman, and they, as promised, when we had Jerry Newman on here, we're like, we've got to have you and Liz back. So we're going to do it. We are going to do it on November 17th. It's going to be at noon Pacific, so at a time that is friendly-ish. I don't know. That's going to be at 3 p.m. on the East Coast, and we're going to have the way the book is structured. You've got Liz's perspective as a founder, Jerry's perspective as an investor, and then Adam. In addition to you and me, we'll have Steve, the CEO of Oxide, will join us. And then we're also going to have Seth join us from Eclipse. So to
be clear, Oxide's, Eclipse was Oxide's first investor. So
that's right. So we are going to have like a couple of investors and a couple of founders, and like it's going to be, I think
a big group therapy session.
It could be a group therapy session. I think we're going to get into it. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think we're really, it's going to be fun. So
so you got a couple of weeks to go read it. Definitely recommend going to read it. One of my favorite things, Bryan, is that there's often very different viewpoints on some of these same topics, expressed by Liz and by Jerry, and I enjoy. Some of them are resolved where they say agree to disagree. Some of them they just let you figure it out yourself.
It's something that you figure it out yourself. And the thing that I love about this book is that they wanted to get a foreword written by a founder and a VC. And so they got the founder, Sandy Lerner, who famously had her company stolen from her, from VCs at Cisco. Sandy wrote the founder's foreword. They could not get a VC to write the VC foreword because they thought the book was too mean, which is hilarious to me because I'm like, this is not mean.
This is the opposite.
It is the
at times
opposite
I'm
of mean. Like, it is like
we are pulling punches here.
Punches are 100% being pulled, and this book is definitely not mean. It's funny, but it is not mean. I think we're gonna put some. I think maybe we'll be mean. You know what? Maybe we'll show VCs what mean actually is. So how's that for a teaser? Anyway, that's gonna be fun. November 17th. And then
Nice.
next week we've got a banger.
Yes.
So we have got once again. It just feels like this is very on brand. That we, in debugging an issue, we have discovered a pretty deep issue, and we're gonna have Dave and John and team on here to discuss it. Looking forward to it. An issue that we have dubbed, Dave has dubbed Future Lock. So should be enough of a teaser. Anyway, it's gonna be good.
Stay tuned. It's gonna be great.
Looking forward to that. So we got a lot of good stuff coming. A lot of great, but these were good books in the box. Some books in the bonfire, mainly Kindles. At the Molly White's review for that, but a lot of good stuff. So a lot of good reading on it. I'm looking forward to getting the queue reloaded, and a lot of good stuff to go chase down here this coming year.
Yeah, likewise.
All right. Well, thank you very much to everyone who joined us. Thanks, Tom and Oliver and Dan, and everyone else who had recommendations online. Appreciate you. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.